And a happy Sunday to you. Thanks for playing along. This is In Other News. I'm your host, Mike Russell. Yes, it is Sunday. Usually we don't mess around with Sundays, but today is a very, very big day. Everyone, all eyes on TikTok. And I think we need to talk about it. I think this needs to be something that is discussed and something that we need to really get a hold of, because there are three things that I want to talk about today when it comes to TikTok being banned. I want to talk about the flagrant violation of free speech. I also want to talk, which includes, by the way, the reality of Chinese ownership in TikTok. And I also want to talk about parenting when it comes to TikTok being banned. And I want to talk about everybody chill the hell out. Things are going to get taken care of here. So let's start. When it comes to the TikTok ban, let's start with the reality of the situation. Yesterday afternoon, the text started coming through, a screenshot saying that it had been banned. I have 170,000 followers on TikTok. Though I'm not very active on TikTok because I wasn't really, a huge fan of TikTok until now. Oh, I will be. So I said, it's okay. Here's the situation. Let me dig into it and figure it out. One of those texts came from my daughter. And so we'll get to that in a moment. But I wanted to dig into the ban of TikTok and how we got here and why it is a flagrant violation of your First Amendment rights. The reason why TikTok is a violation of First Amendment rights, and you guys are very well aware that I am not that's a violation of First Amendment rights. I'm usually defending the First Amendment against people saying it's a First Amendment right. But this is 170 million Americans voice their opinions, their talents. They participate in TikTok in streaming and videos each and every day. When the government says you can't do that, whether it's a platform or whether it's a print medium, whatever it is, that's a violation of the First Amendment of the United States of America. Period. End of story. The First Amendment of the United States does one thing and one thing only. I apologize. When it comes to free speech, does one thing and one thing only. Obviously, the right to assemble and freedom. Yes. First Amendment stops the government from telling you can't speak freely. When the government does that, that's a big fat no-no. And so that is why this is a flagrant violation of the First Amendment. Now let's see how we got here. The reason why we got to this point was because China got caught and doing a little, basically tapping into the information, so to speak. And there's a very, very large, lengthy discussion on how that happened and why that happened. Republican and Democrat congressmen and women decided we're ramping up to a wildly important election. We need to, one of two things. We need to ban TikTok so we get a big, big win for those Gen Xers that have kids that drive them nuts because they're on TikTok all the time. Win a big win. Oh, look at what I've done. I've taken your kids off their phones for 2 seconds. Vote for me. And the second is, well, let's see. Let's see if we can actually get a hold of this social media thing. Let's pick the one entity, the biggest entity that isn't a U.S. company. We've already strong-armed each of them, and now Elon Musk has a hold of X, so we can't strong-arm him. So let's see what we can do with TikTok, and it worked. They actually banned TikTok. I want to back this up a little bit and give you some of the facts. TikTok, ByteDance has already conceded and agreed to all of the servers going to the United States. So all of the data is housed in the United States. Oracle raised their hand and said, we can do that. We can really help you with it. And yes, this is live. And thank you guys for joining us on a Sunday. This is just a very important topic. ByteDance said, Oracle, you take all of our data and you house it in the United States. ByteDance also said we can have a 100% United States board of directors. Nope, that wasn't the issue. So right there, when you had politicians screaming, oh, Chinese government, they are going to take all the information from TikTok and they're going to use it in a nefarious way. Nope. That's not the case. So again, it goes back to trying to win votes in a crucial election and trying to gain control of social media, which is the government's ultimate dream, is to have complete control of social media. So that's what this goes down to. Here's another thing. Couple other things which are absolutely hilarious. 60% of TikTok is owned by foreign outside investors, not even China. So this isn't a Chinese spy app. It isn't. And there is a deal on the table, which we'll talk about momentarily. There's a deal on the table from Kevin O'Leary, the bald guy from Shark Tank. $20 billion, him and his buddies. Yeah, we'll just buy it, make an American company. It's not what the government wants. The government doesn't care about that. They will when 170 million people turn on them. But we will see if that comes to fruition. China does not want. China does not need any app to get your information. They do not need it. Here's why they don't need it. They don't need your information because they can buy it. They already have access to it. Okay? The NSA, I have very good inside information into Washington, D.C., and the NSA doesn't need all of their employees, doesn't need about half their employees. The NSA, for those that don't know, is our spy apparatus the government has to spy on us, we the people, to spy on you and to spy on me. We don't need them anymore because we freely and openly give them this. We give them all of our information and our data, our whereabouts. The phone is always listening to us. Remember Samsung? Samsung got busted for their smart TVs and watching us in our living rooms. We have signed on the dotted line by clicking, I accept your terms of use. All of that information is being collected and not stored in a server, not stored on the cloud. Wasn't that nice when we thought all of our data is on the cloud? It's okay. It's safe. It's a big puffy white cloud. No, they're called data lakes. Data lakes, tomato, tomato. They're called data lakes. And so these data lakes, anyone can buy this information. They can buy anything they want to know about Mike Russell. They can buy anything they want to know about you. They can buy anything they want to know about your kids, where they've been, what they've been doing. As long as they have one of these tracking devices, all that information goes into a data lake and is up for sale to whoever wants to buy it. That's why the NSA doesn't need to spy on us anymore. The NSA doesn't need to have all their employees because we get to do we get to get all that information from the data lakes. So China's like, oh, wait a second. You mean we don't have to pretend like we don't own a company, but we kind of really do, but we're going to take the information and we're going to steal it all from these Americans? Yeah. We don't have to anymore. They can just buy it. So can the NSA. So can the United States. Again, the NSA is the apparatus that spies on we the people. And on top of that, China already has their own apps. They don't have TikTok. There's no TikTok in China. There's none. As a matter of fact, Red Note was the go-to, was the backup plan essentially for all the kids. The kids are going to go to, they're going to run over to Red Note. Red Note sounds like the most nefarious app you could. If you're talking about Chinese spying, it's called Red Note, for the love of God. So it's called Red Note. And here's what China decided. We don't want this. All these American kids are coming over here doing these dances and doing this kind of poisoning our kids' minds. Oh, hell no. No. You can have them back, TikTok. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. We don't want that. Because you have to understand, Chinese version of TikTok, their version, which would be Red Note, and there's another one as well. I couldn't pronounce it. So there's another one as well. And they have, those are about kids promoting themselves as their accomplishments, their grades, their abilities to play classic piano. It's not, booty shaking and Tide Pods. It's not, assaulting people on escalators and garbage like that. So all these kids started jumping over. These American kids jumped to Red Note. They're like, no. I'm going to give you one more example of the violation of free speech, and I'm going to give you an example. And for those of you who are just joining us because they saw TikTok ban, welcome. Thank you for being here, Greg. Everybody, thank you for being here. Rhonda, Grizz, appreciate you guys. I appreciate you coming out on a Sunday. But check this out. This is on my phone. It's interesting with Antony Blinken and Mitt Romney.
Every millisecond. And of course, the way this is played out on social media has dominated the narrative. And you have a social media ecosystem environment in which context, history, facts get lost, and the emotion, the impact.
Whose facts, Anthony?
Of images dominates, and we can't discount that. But I think it also has a very, very, very challenging effect on the narrative.
Yeah, a small parenthetical point, which is some wonder why there was such overwhelming support.
Parenthetical. Are there two more boring people that talk in politics? And it's all under the guise, the cape, the veil of the McCain Institute. So we're doing good, please.
For us to shut down potentially TikTok or other entities of that nature. If you look at the postings on TikTok and the number of mentions of Palestinians relative to other social media sites, it's overwhelmingly so among TikTok broadcast. So I'd note that's of real interest in the president.
Of real interest, exactly. Of real interest that we need to get a control of and make sure that no one talks. Look, I wasn't on the pro-Palestinian movement, okay? But I'm very pro-Palestinian speech because you're an American. You have free speech. You can do that. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. I don't agree with you, but who cares? I don't agree with a lot of people. A lot of people don't agree with me. Oh, Lisa, I don't disagree with you in saying that was a psyop. I really don't disagree with you at all. But it is an attempt by our government to wrangle in power and wrangle in control of expand power and wrangle in control of social media. This was their first step. That's kind of their weather balloon, so to speak. Remember, I used balloon because it was spying China. No, different story. Thanks for hanging out. This is in other news. A couple more things I want to talk about when it comes to the TikTok ban. And when it comes to the TikTok ban, I want to talk to parents directly. And I'm being sincere here as a parent who received a screenshot that TikTok from my daughter's phone that she sent to me saying that TikTok is not available at the time. And I could sense, I mean, she wasn't freaking out. She just like, oh, Dad, here we go. Sent it with the eye roll emoji. I knew what was going on. I said, don't worry, baby girl, Dad is on the case, and we're digging in to find out what's going to happen. And she was like, okay, thanks, Dad. Inside, as a parent, I'm with you. We're going to celebrate the downing of a social media app that has been rotting our kids' brains. Yes, inside, we're like, ah! And outside, we might be, now you have to go outside. Now you have to go play. Now you have to go do something else. Maybe you read a book now. I'm encouraging every parent not to. I'm encouraging every parent to step back and see what this is to your kids. Whether you like it or not, whether you are a supporter of TikTok or not, your kids are a supporter of TikTok. Your kids are addicted to TikTok. I'm going to use that word. This is an addiction. The dopamine hit that your kids get every time they launch TikTok and start doom scrolling, happy scrolling, puppy scrolling, grudge scrolling, whatever it is. That's their addiction. That's their dopamine hit. They get that dopamine hit and they've become addicted. So I'm encouraging you as a parent, and I'm encouraging myself as I say this, to have a little bit of an understanding that your kids just had their fix ripped from them. And from them, in their eyes, they now see going to Instagram, God forbid Facebook. To them, it's like going back to MySpace. For them, it's like shooting heroin all day, and then you being told, here, you can go over to Instagram. It's like smoking a joint and thinking they're going to get the same high. They're not. They're mad. They're upset about this. And I got to tell you, for those that are celebrating TikTok's demise, at least their suspension or their current dark status, you can celebrate that. You really, really can. Outwardly, I would encourage you as a parent just to show a little bit of empathy, or just stay silent on the issue. because your kids are struggling with this. And if you are cheering the government taking down TikTok because you think it's a terrible app, and now that your kid's off it, so you're celebrating, my question to you is, why didn't you take your kid off of it? You didn't take your kid off of it because A, it was easy, B, you know how hooked they were on it, and what just a demon child they would be without their TikTok, without their beloved scrolling, without their dopamine hit they get every single day from it. And I'm not immune to this at all. I get the same through Instagram. I'm on Instagram more than I'm on anything. I get on Instagram and maybe some YouTube every now and again, but I mean, for the most part, I do. If I'm bored, I'm like, yeah, let's see what's going on. Start scrolling through, maybe scroll through X. That's that same dopamine hit that your kids get. It's like comfort food, but there's an addiction to the comfort food. So the kids freaking out about it right now, I understand it. I get it. I totally understand. I'm an outdoorsman that preaches the benefits of bringing your kids outside, getting them off of Xboxes into tackle boxes, right? That's one of my biggest pushes. No child left inside. I love that. But I understand that their cell phone comes with them. Their cell phone comes with them because there is it's almost like it's an appendage. They grew up with technology. Going to a place without technology is like going to a place without they take off your arms when you get there. It doesn't work that way. So I've always encouraged parents in the outdoors, have your kids be their photography, be a videographer, or get into nature photography or whatever it is, or teach them the cool outdoor apps that you use and have them be the expert of those apps. I mean, there's so many different ways, but it has to come from an understanding that our kids grew up in technology and it is part of them. TikTok is part of them. If they're grumpy today, if you say, hey, kids, the Bills game's on, and they're like, ah, and you're like, whoa, what the heck happened there? Give them a little bit of grace, give them a little bit of understanding. And this is we just help our kids through it. You can celebrate, like I said, you can celebrate inside. You internally, or you can go over to your spouse and be like, 3 or 4 days without TikTok. Woohoo! Maybe, but not to them. Because again, that's their addiction. And then maybe you use it as a jumping off point to have a conversation with your kids about those kinds of things. Yes. Anyway, Rhonda, yes, I agree with that. Government banning the app is concerning. Yeah, what are you going to ban next? Absolutely. Okay. The third thing I want to discuss, when it comes to banning of TikTok and TikTok being dark at this moment, I am going to encourage the Gen X influencers out there. I am going to encourage you to chill the hell out. You're not winning any points being a victim. Leave that to the millennial and the Gen Zers, let all those influencers that, like I just mentioned, are suffering from like the dopamine addiction, that they can't see how many likes they had and how many shares they had and how many views they had. They have to have that. And I'm talking a very specific group of influencers who I follow and love, who are posting pictures of their home screen that has how many million of followers they have, or how many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers they have. And what are you being a victim for? You know this is not going to be permanent. This is not. I'm sorry. I'm actually surprised the last administration walked away with allowing it to still go down. I'm surprised the Supreme Court let it go down. Because here comes an incoming administration. Talk about doing a YMCA dance. We saved TikTok. TikTok's back, y'all. They're going to do a 90-day extension, and you know this. But it didn't stop you, Gen X influencers, from being a victim. Stop making us Gen Xers look bad. We are not victims. We never play victims. We don't believe in this victimhood nonsense. That's why you're seeing a political shift in what we are and what we do as a country and how we vote as a country. Because Gen Xers are in charge now, and we don't buy into this victimhood nonsense. We just don't. And okay, so Jose said TikTok is back on. It's going to pop and go 90 days. So all of this victimhood things that you're doing, all of these, I saw one playing the Titanic theme behind it. I saw one playing Boys to Men. It's so hard to say goodbye. Come on. I'm gonna finish out. To yesterday. That's so dumb. Man, you aren't victims. Leave it to the rest of the crew. You know what's gonna happen. Kevin O'Leary, Donald Trump are coming in and making it happen. Period. Kevin O'Leary has a $20 billion group. I'm sorry, a group with a $20 billion bid for TikTok United States, for TikTok US. I think it is wildly important that we sit and see what happens to that. There's going to be a 90-day extension, I believe, minimum. And 90 days is plenty of time to let that go through. Because again, and let me wrap this up here. China has no business being in the business of apps. They don't. Data lakes, all of your information is for sale to the highest bidder or to a bidder or just a price list at any time. So they don't have to do that. Your kids right now are struggling with it. They might be happy again if it's back on, but they're worried, they're concerned because they're addicted to it. There's an addiction. There's a dopamine element here. And Gen Xers, come on. Let's act like Gen Xers. Let's do our research. Let's do our homework and stop posting nonsense like you've been posting. Oh, this is my last post to TikTok. And wah, cry me a river, Timberlake. Whoo. Yeah. So that's it. Just the three things that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the TikTok ban. I'll splice this up and throw it up on YouTube. But let's get to what we're talking about after the size. Grizz, Jose, everybody, Rhonda. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Greg, what up? Yeah, Gen X is the cynical generation. Yeah, we did. We watched boomers. Now what are we doing? We're watching boomers still do it. We're watching boomers in Washington, D.C. still screw up our whole program. And by the way, the boomers are screwing up a program that was set back in the 1700s. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, the anti-Trump, by the way, okay, let's say that, Jose. This is unifying. If we can unify, I don't care if the anti-Trump, pro-Trump, if we can all identify together and say, hey, wait, these boneheads in Washington, D.C., this, as Pelosi would say, governance, is violating our First Amendment right, our God-given freedom. What in the hell? Hey, we can all come together. Yo, this might be a good thing. Just scaring it. Oh. What does Queen Bee think about it from the other side? Asks Grizz. And for those just joining us, thank you. So Queen Bee is my beloved. She was like, that's weird. Her daughters are not happy about it. Her daughters are very all about the TikTok. So, but she's like, yeah, that's weird. What's going to happen? I said, probably get a 90-day extension. Kevin O'Leary and his crew are probably going to buy it and make it TikTok US. And it'll be all back and running up fine. Yeah. So no harm, no foul. I saw, yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw kids crying as well, Rhonda. Yeah. And okay, so Rhonda, that brings up a really, really good point. Saw kids crying because TikTok is where they made their money. Smart One had content on all platforms. Most of the TikTokers that I'm talking about, especially the Gen Xers, I found on Instagram. I didn't find on TikTok. Yeah, so most of those guys, I'm talking to you, Dad Bod veteran. I'm talking to you, fantastic. Nunley, I'm talking to you as well. Fantastic. Content is awesome. So that's why I'm saying don't play the victim. You know how to build a business, so keep building the business in other platforms until this one is back. So anyway, yeah, but the kids are crying because that's where they made their money. Think about this. There are millions of small businesses. These are technically small businesses. They are performing, they're providing a service, and they're getting income in return. That's a small business. So now you just shut down a small business for a lot of people. Again, pointing fingers to DC governance, and we the people getting hosed again. Because people like Mitt Romney think that, we can't have people talking about being pro-Palestine. Yeah, you can. You can have people in America talking about being pro anything they want to be because they're Americans. Reels, TikTok, exactly. Reels, Shorts, Reels, Shorts, and what's the other one? I forgot what the other one is. Reels and Shorts. Yeah. And that's it. And God bless them. But TikTok is the number one, the head honcho with the younger kids. It just is. and people are making money on it. My son for Christmas bought me something for Christmas from the TikTok shop. I was like, what the hell's a TikTok shop? 170,000 followers. I'm like, what the hell's a TikTok shop? That's how much I'm on it. There's a difference between hate speech and speech you hate. Exactly. But hate speech is fine. By the way, hate speech is totally okay. It is. Unless it's on a social media platform. Social media platforms have the ability to shut down what they deem as hate speech because it's a free service. You are their product. You agreed that they can shut you down at any time. You agreed to that in terms of use. Again, like John Oliver said, the comedian John Oliver said, if you want, he said, Apple figured it out. He said, if you want to hide something nefarious, put it in the terms of use agreement. He said, you could put the entire text of Mein Kampf. Those of you who didn't study history, that was Hitler's book, My Struggle. Mein Kampf in the middle of the iTunes user agreement, and everyone would click, I agree. It's the truth. Bury it in something boring. Put anything you want in there. And trust me, it's in there. Remember the Disney clause? This just happened. Holy mackerel. This just happened. And I forgot what it was. But somebody got wronged or hurt or injured at a Disney park. And because they have Disney Plus, and they signed, they clicked, I agree to the terms of use, in the Disney Plus terms of use, says you will never sue Disney with an attorney. Everything has to go to arbitration. I'm sorry, mediation. My bad, mediation. Everything has to go to a mediator. We're not going to court. You signed your rights away to go to court. How crazy is that? Well, you do not. See, why, Rhonda? Why would I? How am I surprised by that? The terms of use before signing, I'm telling you. But have you? Okay, so let me ask you this. I think it's a great question. For those of you just joining us, this is in other news. We do this every single day at noon Mountain Standard Time. And in comments, you playing along, that shapes the show in a lot of ways and a lot of times. So please feel free to jump on in there. If you say you typically read the terms of use before signing anything or agreeing, Rhonda, how many times, and I'm not putting you on the spot, or let me put it this way, have you ever not agreed to terms of use because of something you found in the terms of use? And yes, yes, humble brag. I love that. And again, for those of you joining us, yeah, we do. We talk a little bit of trash here and there because we have a lot of fun. And those of you that are joining us on X, which are several of you joining us on X, X is a wonderful platform when it comes to free speech. A wonderful platform when it comes to free speech. They are responsible for turning Mark Zuckerberg's opinion on his fact checkers and going to a community notes kind of program, as well as moving his operations or part of his operations from Silicon Valley to Austin, Texas. So yes, Elon Musk and X is the harbinger of social media free speech. Facebook and Meta are following along. I hope YouTube follows as well, and we can just keep on going. There's no order to download TikTok. If you don't want it, don't download. Amen to that. Yeah. You don't like it, fine. I love it. I said, we can't have TikTok. It's Chinese. China's spying on us. It's a Chinese spy app is what it is. Meanwhile, we let an entire spy balloon just like traverse our nation. And then we're okay with it. Oh, we shut it down after it was done with its mission. Yeah. That's right. That's it. If you don't like it, don't play the game. If you don't like the game, don't play the game. What else did I miss here, guys? What else did I miss? Yeah, a lot of people don't care about TikTok, Ron. That's for darn sure. Yeah. Ban the NSA. I'm all about that. 100% about that. Yes. And everything is sold to the highest bidder. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate me popping up and you jumping in. And again, like I said, if you're new here, and we do it right here on X too. There's several people watching us on X right now. If we do this every day at noon Mountain Standard Time, that's Arizona time, because that's that flag. Oh, that one over there. Yeah, that flag is the Arizona State flag. So Arizona time noon, and we just have fun. We talk about it, whatever's happening at the time in a fun way, hopefully an enjoyable way, and hopefully an entertaining way. Take a deep breath, everybody. TikTok gonna be just fine. TikTok's probably gonna have some changes. $20 billion buyer, probably. There's probably gonna be a pay element. And I appreciate that, Chris. Like and share. If you guys can share this out, especially on X, if you can maybe share that out, we greatly appreciate it. YouTube, we greatly appreciate it as well. I'll be breaking these up into individual posts, 3 individual posts on the YouTube. All right. So, hey, you all, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for playing along. Again, TikTok is going to be just fine. It's going to be a win for the incoming administration. It's going to be a win for U.S. market and U.S. capitalism, as a $20 billion offer from a U.S. company might take it over. And then all of the money that it makes, the billions that it makes, hopefully stays right here in the Estados Unidos. You want to talk about Bills and Ravens? Bills. I need the Bills to win. For the love of grief, I need the Bills to win. I need somebody to stop this Kansas City nonsense. I know we don't talk sports a lot, but I need this Kansas City and the refs. I just can't even deal with this anymore. It's not even fun to watch. It's not even entertaining. It just isn't. You see the anti-drone equipment on the president's motorcade vehicles? Oh, yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. By the way, we will be broadcasting live. We are going to live stream the event tomorrow, the inauguration. We will be having some fun and commentary, and we'll be playing along like we always do the entire time. Technology willing, we will make it happen, and we will be right up in the biscuits of that inauguration. We're going to make it happen. Yes, Ronda, Casey and the refs is ridiculous. It's the 12th man right there. I mean, they wear stripes. It is absolutely, and to see Mahomes take that flop on the sideline just shows they're just trying to. Anyway, that's my personal opinion. I'm a Cardinals fan. I got no skin in this game. No skin in this game. It does, doesn't it, right? Casey and the refs. But I think Casey and the Sunshine Band a little upset by that. Do a little dance, make it a love. Mike should get out of here before he sings some more. All right, y'all have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow for Inauguration Day right here on In Other News. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.